Okay, let's talk about the unhealthy relationship between politicians and the media outlets. On this channel, we've already criticized both LBC and GB News for hiring way too many politicians as presenters. That's not healthy, especially if you're in party of government. The Tories, you keep having Tory MPs becoming presenters. That's not really healthy, especially when it comes to narrative. But if it's an opinion-based show, that's a whole different point. And this is why Sky News are not too happy about this, because they're jealous. So we have Sophie Rich asking questions from Lucy Powell. And Lucy Powell is going to lash out because she's basically also jealous that she hasn't been hired by GB News or LBC. Because this topic is not just about GB News presenters. It's also about, for example, David Lammy, who has a show on LBC, and he's in the shadow cabinet.
What's your view on the trend of other channels employing serving MPs as presenters? Obviously, we have someone like David Lammy on LBC, Lee Anderson, the Conservative Deputy Chairman, earning £100,000 presenting on GB News.
By the way, it's quite interesting. The reasons Overridge also included David Lammy and LBC is just because she doesn't want to come across as Sky News is just bashing GB News. But the whole discussion is going to be about bashing GB News. It's brilliant.
Well, I think it's very concerning, I think, what is happening on some other channels in terms of that overall balance of opinion. And this issue has been raised with the chief exec of Ofcom, both by select committee members of the select committee recently, and also it's something that I've been raising in private as well. And
oh, so you've actually bothered to in private to get in touch with Ofcom, say, hello, Mr. Ofcom, I'm very worried about balance on GB News. You do realize one of the reasons that they're getting away with it is because they're following the Ofcom rules. Because if you have Jacob Rees-Mogg presenting a show, he gets a left-wing guest to oppose him, to challenge him. So it's actually irrelevant to my point. My point was something else. It's just about the overall unhealthy relationship between politicians and media. That line has been crossed. But she's lashing out. She's been triggered over nothing. You're basically just jealous because you're not on TV. That's why.
Ofcom should be looking at these issues because they're the licensing authority, they're the regulatory authority. Yeah. And I think it's really important that in this era of dis and misinformation, we need to know that we can trust our news channels and our news sources. And it's something that we are very proud of in this country because...
Oh, shut up. Oh my God. Okay, so firstly, Ofcom, they're usually on top of everything. They actually go further. They usually censor and punish you for saying the wrong word anyway. But I can assure you that if it comes to disinformation or misinformation, not only Ofcom will know, we would know. So calm down, Lucy.
We do have a strong regulatory regime, and news channels and broadcasters are bound by those licensing conditions, which mean that they do have to provide balance and some impartiality. And I'm not sure that constantly ramming the airwaves of any one of those channels full of sitting Conservative MPs is...
that's your problem then. Conservative MPs. If it were Labour MPs, you'd be absolutely fine with it, won't you? So the reason I criticised the whole culture was because I was doing it on a non-partisan level. I don't care if they're Labour or Tory. So you'll be absolutely fine if GB News hire so many Labour MPs. This is the reality of the situation. These people are hypocrites. If she gets offered a job in an LBC, she's going to say yes. She's going to do it. You know exactly what she's going to do. But she kept repeating the same words. Impartiality, balance, blah, blah, blah. Well, we already know. Ofcom are already very, very tough on GB News anyway. So the moment they cross the line, or even if they don't cross the line, they get punished anyway. But you'd think that right now what's going on, for example, in Jacob Rees-Mogg's show, is crossing the boundary now somehow. But with David Lammy, it's fine. She kept focusing on GB News. She did not criticize David Lammy and his LBC show. You are just jealous, Lucy. That's what you are. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.